Good morning, freight broker family. I hope you're well today. I hope your families are doing well. Today I want to talk to you about what I believe is probably the most important thing for a freight broker to do when he first gets started, right? He has to go out and get a customer and he has to move a load. We build a freight broker business on this very foundation, right? So it's important to get this done as quickly as you possibly can. What it's going to do is to give you confidence, make you feel better about what it is that you're doing, feel like you can do it. And I think what happens a lot of times is people take so long to get that first load moved till they get discouraged and they end up quitting before they really get started. So I think it's important to pick some low-hanging fruit when it comes to moving your first load. A lot of times what I see is people are taking these really challenging lanes on their first loads and they're trying to get these loads moved, but they can't get it done because they don't have a network in place. For example, with LTL loads, I love LTL loads. They have great profit margins, but they are really hard to move when you first get started because you don't have an LTL network in place. You don't have people that you can go to get LTL loads moved who understand LTL pricing. You're more than likely going to be going to full truckload carriers trying to get them to move LTL loads, and that usually a lot of times doesn't go over well for you because you can't get the type of pricing you need to move that load. So I think it's important to focus on easy wins. Focus on easier freight when you first get started. In today's video, I am going to let you know what I think is the easiest freight for new freight brokers to move to help you get those quick and easy wins. So come on inside and let's get down to the business. New freight brokers, here's what I think is crucially important for you to understand, get a good grasp on before you get started in your freight broker business. And that's to understand that when you first get started in your freight broker business, you're working against the clock. Time is ticking. The reason why that is because you only have a limited amount of money. You only have a limited amount of time to make the business work, right? That time usually spans from about 1 month to 6 months, right? Just depends on how much money you have, how much time you have. Now, how I look at it is, even if you say I have a year's time or 2 years' time to make this business work, that's good. But I still think the first 90 days of a freight broker business is most important. The reason why I say it is because during that time, if you can go ahead and get your business out of the gate, you're going to feel a whole lot better about it. If you can go ahead and get that first customer and move that first load, then you'll have more confidence in what it is that you're doing, and you're likely to stay with it if you get early successes in the business, right? So it's important to identify the type of loads that you can move and move those loads quickly. Now, in my experience, the easiest loads for a new freight broker to move is full truckload or partial loads. When I'm saying full truckloads, what is a full truckload to me is up to about 40,000 pounds. Now they can extend to about 44,000, 45,000 on dry van loads, but I move reefer loads and usually we don't go past 40,000 pounds in total for a full truckload. Now a partial will be between 5 and about 15,000 pounds. These are easy loads to move because there's not a whole lot of coordination with these loads. You pick these loads up and you drop them off. Now don't get me wrong, there are some things that can go wrong with full truckloads just like they can with LTL loads. That's just the nature of the business. But LTL loads present an entirely different dynamic into the equation. I want you to think about it for a minute. Let's just take your load board. When you put a full truckload in, let's say you put a load that goes from Atlanta to Marshville, North Carolina. Well, when you go in and look at that lane history, you can see all the way down from the last 7 days out to the last 12 months what those lanes have been going for. So you have data, you have history that you can reference when it's time for you to start forming your rate for full truckloads. Now let's go over to LTL loads. Where are you going to go to start to get pricing for LTL loads? There's no load board that I'm aware of that you can go out and see history of pricing for LTL lanes. So then that means you have to start from zero. You have to start forming your rate based off of, hey, I got to go and figure out what I can get this lane moved for. I got to talk to carriers. I got to talk to carriers who are willing to move this type of load. And what I can guarantee you is that you'll have less trucks to choose from to move LTL loads. Because owner-operators, they don't really specialize in moving LTL freight. They are more so looking for FTL lanes. And think about it. When they look at it, they automatically say in their minds, hey, I'm going to get more from moving a full truckload, 40,000 pounds, than I would get from moving 2 pallets at 3,000 pounds. So it just passes the common sense test for them to look solely for full truckloads. So pricing and load coverage becomes a big sticking point. So what you have to decide in your own mind is, do I want to go through all of that, or do I want to stick with loads that are going to be a little bit easier when I first get started? Now, I'm not saying that you should just only move those easy loads. I'm just saying get some quick wins, get some easy wins early on by getting easy freight. That's what I wanted to share with you today. I certainly hope this information has been helpful. If you want to learn more about the freight broker business, I'll leave a free link in the description. It's the 5-video series, and I titled it How the Load Movement Process Works. It gives you a chance to come into the office with me, watch over my shoulder as I move loads, I talk to shippers and carriers, in hopes of giving you a better understanding of how this business works before you come into it. And then if you're interested in learning more about how we go about getting the customers that we work with, how we move those shippers from potential customers to real customers, I'll leave a free video right here. So until the next time, I wish you the very best in your life and business. See you at the top, because the bottom is much too crowded.